My adoptive parents were pretty supportive. I mean, there were some difficult times because I still had a semi-relationship with my biological mom. So part of me felt like I needed a dad and not a mom because I already had a mom. But after I was adopted and I turned 18 and then I moved out, once I moved out, I realized like maybe that's the mom that I needed. Seeing she was there, she went to my graduation, my biological parents didn't show up at all. I wish that my parents would have understood where I was going. Like, I went from having 9 siblings in the house, like never having privacy, to it just being me, and being an only child. So I wish they would have understood that. Like, they had the room to have more than one foster child at a time, but I felt like they didn't want to feel like they were giving the attention to somebody else, but at the same time it made me feel lonely because I didn't have anybody else there to relate to.
I went with the foster family. At first I was very scared. I was scared because I didn't want to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. I didn't want to look like not approachable. The foster siblings, I didn't know how to connect to them because one, she was older than me, and then there were 2 other ones, and I didn't want to get close to them because I already had siblings, so I didn't really care for them. I didn't want to know about them. I didn't want to be around them. To me, they weren't my family. They would always compare us, like my daughter went to high school, she got all A's. My daughter went to college. My daughter did this. Look at how successful my daughter is. And then it was like, okay, I don't know what you want me to say about that or do. It kind of made me feel guilty because I knew I was in foster care and I didn't have parents. Like, I looked at their kids and I was like, yeah, they have them as parents. Like, their parents have money. Their parents are pretty stable. I was like, I don't have that, so I don't know why she's telling me this.
I am the oldest of 4. I go to college. I have been in and out of foster care for most of my life. Some people, like in my, that are around me, have thought that I was a terrible person, or thought that I had done something, or thought that my family didn't care about me because I have been in and out of foster care, even though it was some of the complete opposite.
So the first 2 days of being in the new foster home, I didn't say anything to them. I kind of just sat in my bedroom and I went to school and I did what I was expected to do. But other than that, I was scared because it was a new environment. It was new people that I had never met before. And on top of that, like, I had just moved schools, so I was still at a new school where like I didn't know anybody. So I guess all of my feelings just kind of kicked in and I was anxious and scared. So for the first couple of days, they kind of just gave me space. For the first 2 days, they were like, they understood what I was going through and all of that. So they just gave me my space and let me be. And I think that was the thing that I needed the most, because after 2 days, I was finally ready to go and, have a conversation with them. And when I had first opened up to them about what I was feeling, they really pushed me getting a therapist. And once I started working with a therapist, it helped me to really open up to be, to every single person that was involved in my life. And through there, from having a therapist, I went and saw my doctor and got on medication to help me regulate my emotions. And now I'm here. So the last foster home that I was involved with, she's a licensed therapist. So she really understood, like, if I was having a breakdown or something, she was able to help me through it. And she never gave up on me like the other foster parents did. She helped me with a lot of the life skills that I was going to need in adulthood, such as cooking and cleaning and budgeting and budgeting. I'm so sick of hearing that word. So I still go over there on a daily and visit her and help her. She's older, so she's like really bad knees, and I help her with like the cooking and the cleaning. I wish I would have told myself more or like gave myself more credit, because I really put a lot of the blame on myself when I was in the system.
And just the small things were probably the most important things that I cherished the most. Like tubing trips, random go-karting trips.
Someone that puts our needs first, that doesn't just use us for their own beneficial needs and just gloat about us, and someone that's patient and that puts themselves in our place.
So I think when a lot of the foster parents hear the word foster a teen, they think trouble and drugs and all of these other things. So they really go based off of what the stigmas say. And I would say give it a chance. Shoot your shot. Either you score or you miss. And, some teens, they're going to have those issues, but other teens are going to be, like me, cute and friendly and not a bad kid.
One of the first things I experienced was love, along with compassion and dignity.
Give them space, for sure. If they ask you for space or they ask you for alone time, give it to them. Also, the biggest thing is respect goes both ways. So if they're not respecting you, then why should you respect them? But then if you're not respecting them, then they're not going to respect you. That's just how it is.
Don't give up, because foster kids have a lot of baggage, a lot of, issues and things like that. And often they're just going through a lot in their head as well. We have this inner voice that is kind of telling us one thing, like the devil and the angel on your shoulder. So honestly, just not giving up, because you might look at a foster kid who is acting out or, whatever it might be and be like, why are they like this, but there is a reason. And I think it's really important to stay persistent with that and just show them that you are on their side no matter what, because unconditional love is something that we don't really get that often.
Really, it was more on me, and I needed to be more open, and I needed to push myself to have a conversation with them, because most days I would just sit there and I wouldn't say anything. And I became very good at bottling up everything that I was feeling. So I didn't really ever explain to them what was going on. I would tell them that I was fine and that nothing was going on, but there was just so much going on that I was scared of telling them what was actually going on.
I wouldn't change anything actually, because it doesn't necessarily make me the person that I am, but it definitely shaped part of me being the person that I am today. I try to visit them every weekend so I can at least spend time with them, and my mom gets messages on every update on my life because I get yelled at if she doesn't.
Don't just look on the outside, get to know them for who they are and get to know their story. Don't just listen to what the courts say or what their biological parents say. Get to know what happened to them from their perspective, because it's gonna be a lot different. Just because you're going through a hard time doesn't mean that you can give up. You may want to, but just keep trying. I've been through a lot, and I'm pretty sure that everyone else that's already done one of these has been through a lot too. And just keep looking at our videos and keep that as a reminder.
I would say that, like, if there is an adult that is reaching out to help you, accept it. I know that, like, it's really hard to accept help, especially aging out, because you want to prove to everybody that you can do it. But that is a huge part of it, is accepting help, because it's hard alone.